Hello there, welcome to my channel, Center Stand Mechanics, and today we're going to correct a few things that I did incorrectly on my previous video. I ended up putting grease on my front sprocket bolt, and I was looking through the manual, and it actually says put thread locker on it, so that's kind of like the opposite of grease. So we're going to redo that. And that's okay. It won't take long. I just gotta undo this cover and back that nut off and wash off the grease and put on a thread locker and torque it down again. But another thing, I was looking through there, which I still can't wrap my head around it, but it calls for in the manual. It says to pull the clutch lever in and strap it down like this when you take the slave cylinder off, and I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure what that's all about. See, in my way of thinking, you press that, puts pressure down in here, and this here would expand because there's a push rod on the other side of it. It pushes the push rod. Well, at least in my understanding, pushes the push rod across and then opens up the clutch basket, which in turn releases the clutch. And by putting pressure in here, wouldn't that, push the piston out, and then when you're backing these off, put a bunch of unnecessary pressure on these two bolts when you're backing this out, so you'd be kind of fighting it a little bit, the way I'm thinking. And yeah, it says in there, it's saying to do that so the piston doesn't fall out, which wouldn't that be when you press the clutch lever, it would fall out? I don't know. It's weird because when I originally did this, I had it off the bike, and it was laying off to the side over here, and it was sitting there for about 2 weeks, and it never moved. It never came out or anything. In fact, I never even noticed anything. It wasn't until later I was skimming through the book and I was like, what? That's really strange. Well, I didn't do that. Whoops. But that's okay. So today we're going to try it that way and see if there's any difference, if I notice anything different about it. And yeah, you'll see it here with me as we go. Still doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, but that's okay. I'm not smarter than the book. So let's do that by the book, and we'll put the thread locker on by the book, and we'll torque it down, and we'll put it all back together. Sound like a plan? All right, let's get to it. Okay, so to pull this clutch lever in like this, I'm gonna just use this zap strap, and when I'm done, I'll just cut it loose. Seems like the simplest way to do it. Still think this is kind of weird to be doing it this way, but hey, what do I know? Okay, there. You happy now? Okay. So with this being pushed in, there's pressure pushing against this push rod that goes over, and it's opening the clutch basket. So there's springs on there. So there's like spring tension now against this. That's what I'm thinking. So I wouldn't want to undo one side and then the other, because it's going to be like, it's going to want to push on it. So I kind of want to do this evenly, like do a little bit there, do a little bit there, do a little bit there. Yeah, I can see it twisting back and forth. A little bit there. Yeah, there's pressure on it. But that's what the book says to do, so maybe there's something about it that I'm not seeing. There, so it's loose now. Oops. And then we'll just spin these out real quick. One of these is longer. The longer one goes on top. Okay. So she comes. Yeah, that's just weird to me. But whatever. Okay. And then it says to pull out this push rod next. I'll put that there. And then we'll take off the speed sensor. Now it's just a matter of getting these 3 bolts out. And I looked and looked and looked to see if I could find torque settings for these 3 bolts, and I couldn't find any. So I think it's just as tight, but not too tight. This is plastic. You don't want to tighten it too much. I'm guessing probably around like 7 or 8 foot-pounds of torque. Probably be enough for that. Alright. Okay. And then this just comes out. Yeah, see, still clean from when I cleaned it the other day. Okay. So now we've got to get this big Allen key out. I think it's this one here. Okay. But first, I got a stick I'm gonna put in the back brake to stop the back wheel from turning. All right. So depending on your bike and how it's set up and stuff, you may or may not be able to do it. This works really well because I got crash bars here, and I can put this up against the crash bar. Stop them. You could just get someone to stand on here too as well. That would work. All right, I should be able to break this loose now. There we go. And then this thing will come right off. Okay, so now we got the big nut. And I'll tell you right now, this is way easier with this impact gun than doing it the old-fashioned way with a big wrench. That's right. All right. So really, all we got to do now is just wash this bit of grease off. I got a bit of brake clean right here. And get a rag, and we'll just spray this off a little bit and clean it up. Spray off this nut. This brake clean just devours grease like in seconds. pretty good stuff. It evaporates quickly too. Okay, so that's pretty clean now. This is looking pretty clean. So we'll get our thread locker. I'm gonna put a little dab on here. I'll put a little bit on here too. Okay. Okay, we'll get that on there nice and tight. Now I'm just gonna spin this down a little bit and I'll torque it up with the torque wrench. So that's on. So this front sprocket bolt is supposed to be torqued to 83 foot-pounds of torque. So we'll crank this up. 60, 70. That's 70. So 80. There's 83 right there. We'll tighten that up. Okay. We'll use this. And we'll go. There we go. 83. 83. Okay. So that's that one done properly. Now this guy goes on. This is the speed sensor washer here, and it calls for, doesn't need thread lock, but it does require 16.5 foot-pounds of torque to tighten that one down. Okay, so we gotta set this to 16.5. So I gotta crank it back a whole bunch. 20. Alright, so that's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 16.5. There we go. Yep, there. That one's torqued. So now, before I put the cover on, I want to clean up this chain and oil it properly. That way I can sort of clean this out afterwards and start fresh. Okay, next I'm gonna just clean up this chain a little bit before I put that cover on, because I want to be able to clean as much as the stuff, the grease and dirt out of there before I put the cover on. And yeah, it just needs a little bit of a clean and an oil, and it's been a little while. So what I got here is I got some kerosene in a squirt bottle, and basically I'm just going to hose off any dirt and oil that's on there, and then I'm going to wipe it clean, and then I'm going to go ahead and put chain oil on there and then wipe that clean, and then it should be good for a little while. So it's a pretty easy process. Just sit here and soak this thing. And just keep soaking it. This stuff's pretty cheap, so you can use quite a bit of it. And you don't want to do this while the bike's running. You could easily get your fingers caught in the chain or something, or could jump off the sand on you. So I just gently go like this. You see all the dirt coming off of there? And this is a fairly clean chain too. It's not too bad, but I thought it'd be time to clean it now. And yeah, you just keep doing this, and this is just gonna clean any dirt off it. And you can just go to town on this, like just keep going and going. That's why I got the reservoir there to catch up any drips, and I got this paper towel down, clean it up as best I can. Yeah, just keep hosing this stuff off here. And then when you get it nice and wet, you can take your brush and just go like this on all four sides of the chain. And do this side. This is just a dishwashing brush, super cheap, easy to find. You do the top. And yeah, there's probably lots of videos on how to do this and stuff, so I'm not really trying to show you anything new here. I just got to do it myself here. It's a good time to do it when I got that cover off. And then we'll do the other side. You just want to make sure you don't get your fingers caught anywhere. Alright, now we'll hose that off again. Look how dirty that is, eh? And this was a fairly clean chain to start with. It wasn't too bad. It was, I had it done it not too long ago and I've hardly ridden it. But just goes to show it can never be too clean. Okay. So we've used up not very much. I mean, you know, 10 cents worth of kerosene. I don't know, maybe more, I don't know. Not very much anyways. Okay, so now I'm gonna dry it off and see what it looks like. I'm so dirty. It's all over the back wheel and everywhere. It's unavoidable, really. That's the way it goes with these chain-driven bikes. Okay, so now that I have all that dried off and looking nice and clean, see, look at that. That looks really nice. I can take some of this chain lube. I'm just gonna spray a bit on. This is an O-ring chain, so it doesn't need a lot of oil to stay lubricated. It just needs it to stop it from rusting and, you know, just keep it kind of oiled up. And so I'm going to put a bit of this on, and I'm going to wipe it off a bit. Make sure it kind of spreads around on there. And I'll do it again. Probably get it from back here. Make sure it gets a good covering. There, and then you're done putting on the chain lube. Now we'll just wipe off the excess and we're done. And if you keep up on it, you do it every couple of rides or so, you know, like, you know, longer rides, it won't be that hard. You can easily keep it clean. So much better for your bike. All right. So look at that. Nice clean chain. Now there's a little bit of kerosene that's kind of run down into here. And what I want to do is hose it off, but I'm going to cover up the chain a little bit when I spray that off. See if I can get some of this cleaned up. Don't want to hit the chain. The stuff will just cut that oil right off of it again. But yeah, I want to see if I can dry this out a bit. Now we can put this cover back on. Sit here. There we go. There, we got it now. So yeah, I couldn't find a torque setting for these, so you just have to do these ones by feel. I don't think you want them too tight. There, that'll work. says you want grease on this little push rod. This is the push rod I was telling you about. So it goes in. Let's find the hole. There we go. And then now there's a tricky little part about this. So these two bolts, one of them's longer than the other one, and the longer one takes this spacer. So you put, hold on, you got to put it through here, and then you got to put this long spacer on, and then you got to feed it through here. There's a wire in the way here. Then you gotta find the push rod's gotta find its spot on there. Okay. Yeah, that's going on. Just do a little bit each side, because I think there's tension in here. It goes on somewhat straight. There. Okay. So now I'll torque them down. Should be tight enough. Feels pretty good. Tuck in these wires. Make sure this is all tight. Make sure the wheel spins. Yep. Okay, so that's back on, and all that's left to do is to snip this zip tie, and should be good. Yeah, so we'll just snip this free, like so. No, doesn't feel any different. And yeah, that's that. So there you have it, folks. I'll probably end the video there, and we got this all back together now, and it's looking pretty good. Got the chain all cleaned up, and we'll be ready to ride soon. I didn't really notice much of a difference clamping the clutch lever down opposed to just leaving it open. Still not sure why they suggest doing that in the book, but there's got to be a reason why. But that's okay. Yeah, so just I've ordered a new filter, oil filter. I'm waiting for that, and we'll be doing an oil change soon. And then I can put the skid plate back on, and yeah, I'll be pretty much ready for the road then. So that's exciting. So anyway, stay tuned for that, and we'll see you again soon. Center Stand Mechanics out.